वासुदेवाय
ॐ नमो भगवते 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 वासुदेवाय
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to discuss another topic, and this topic is about doubt. I'll share some of the points on this topic. Doubt as a doorway to deeper understanding. So generally in spiritual life we see that doubt is considered to be a bad thing, right? If you have doubts, then it is considered not very good. Doubts are not welcome. But actually doubts can be a way by which one can go more deeper into his Krishna consciousness. Doubts can make us ask questions. It can make us search for truth, and it can make us go deeper into why we are practicing what we are practicing. So doubts are not always bad. Doubts can be good also, and we will see which are healthy constructive doubts and which are harmful destructive doubts. Okay, so sometimes when you are practicing our Krishna consciousness, things become very mechanical. Every day rise early, chant your rounds, study Prabhupada's books, perform arti, go on Harinam. At times it can become so mechanical that we don't even think about it. We think this is my life, let's just continue doing it. It becomes like a routine. So doubts, when we have doubts, it helps us go more deeper. It helps us go beyond a theoretical level. So I want to share with you a Prabhupada story. Prabhupada used to go on morning walk every day. So once he was in LA, Los Angeles, and he was going on a walk with his disciple. So Prabhupada came across a very beautiful mansion. So Prabhupada said, one day we will have a mansion like this for Krishna. And all the disciples who were walking with him said, Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada went further. Prabhupada saw a very nice car. Prabhupada said, one day we will have like this nice car for Krishna. And all the disciples said, Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada looked at them. Prabhupada went further. Prabhupada saw a dog. Prabhupada said, one day we will have like this dog for Krishna. And all the disciples said, Jai Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, why do you want a dog for Krishna? So sometimes it can become like that. But doubts we see in scriptures, there are many examples where even great personalities have expressed doubts and asked questions. See, first you have doubt, then you will ask a question. So what are some of the examples of scriptures? One classic example that we can think of is from Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna. In chapter number 1, Arjuna is presenting so many arguments why we should not fight, why this war should not go ahead. And then in the beginning of the second chapter, he presents one more argument, and then he says, I don't know whether we should fight or we should not fight. And he becomes completely confused and he surrenders to Lord Krishna in text number, second chapter, text number 7. Because of Arjuna's doubt, Krishna spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita. So his doubt led to a great conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. So if Arjuna did not have this doubt, he would have started fighting, then there would have been no Bhagavad Gita. Then another example we can see from Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj, the story how Parikshit Maharaj once went in the forest and he got so thirsty, he came across a hut of a sage. The sage was in deep meditation, samadhi. Parikshit Maharaj asked for some water. but this sage was in samadhi, so he could not hear. And being affected by so much thirst, he became angry. Parikshit Maharaj became angry and he took a dead snake which was around and put it on the neck of this sage. And he left from that place. And immediately he realized that maybe that sage was really in samadhi, and then he thought, oh, I have offended a brahmana, I have offended a sage. Then he prays that, my dear Lord, whatever reaction is going to come, let that reaction come immediately. And we see in the story of that sage's son, he curses, Shringi curses Parikshit Maharaj to die within 7 days. As soon as Parikshit Maharaj comes to know that I'm cursed and I'm going to die in 7 days, what does he do? He leaves his entire empire, goes to the bank of Yamuna, and many sages comes there, and he is expressing a doubt. What is his doubt? He says, please tell me, what is the duty of someone who's about to die? What is the duty of people in general, especially of one who is about to die? This inquiry, as soon as he made this inquiry, Sukdev Goswami appeared on the scene and he spoke the entire Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days continuously. So if Parikshit Maharaj did not have this doubt, there would have been no Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we also see in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, Lord Krishna is planning to end his pastimes and depart from this world. And he says to Uddhav that you stay back. All the Yadus have gone back. But Uddhav, he says, you stay back and you preach the science of Krishna consciousness. Teach the science of Krishna consciousness. Now when he says this, Uddhav is asking so many questions to Krishna. Questions related to, so he's asking so many questions related to renunciation, Jnana yoga and bhakti. So many such questions he is asking to Krishna, and Krishna is elaborately describing all this knowledge to Uddhav, and that becomes Uddhav Gita. So you have Arjun, Bhagavad Gita, and with Uddhav it becomes Uddhav Gita. Then we see the example of Shaunaka Rishi and Suta Goswami. Sages of Naimisharanya and Suta Goswami. Sages of Naimisharanya, they raise a doubt. They raise a question that since Krishna has departed, they ask 6 questions. And one of the question is, now Krishna has departed from this world, where have the religious principles gone for shelter? What is the process of Krishna consciousness? What is the process of deliverance in this Kali Yuga? Please tell us the essence. You have studied all the scriptures. People of Kali Yuga are very disqualified in so many ways. Please tell us the essence. And that led to Srimad Bhagavatam being recited the second time at Naimisharanya. One more example, 2 more, Devahuti and Kapila Dev. So Kapila Dev is the son of Devahuti and Kardama Muni. So Devahuti is a mother of Supreme Lord Kapila Dev, but she is expressing doubts, about the nature of soul, suffering, how to become liberated from this world. So had she not asked these questions, Kapil Dev would not have explained. The 3rd canto explains all this in details, all the Sankhya Yoga that Kapil Dev teaches to his mother Devahuti. Then we see in Mahabharata, when Duryodhan insults Vidura, Vidura leaves the palace of Hastinapur and goes on to pilgrimage to get spiritual knowledge. So he goes and meets Maitreya Muni, and in the conversation with Maitreya Muni, Vidura is asking all these different questions about karma, creation, bhakti, and so many things. So this is also part of Srimad Bhagavatam. So many examples we see where great personalities, even liberated personalities, have raised doubts about their own practice of Krishna consciousness or the concepts of Krishna consciousness, and it has led to such wonderful discussions. So having doubts is not bad. Okay, so now I will discuss some of the benefits of having doubts. Okay, when we have doubts, one thing is that it shows that we are thinking. We are not just blindly following or accepting whatever is being told. So if somebody has doubt, it means it's a sign of intelligence. So doubt is good. That means we are thinking. We are thinking whether this is correct, whether this is wrong. How do I apply in my life? Is this practical? If you're not clear, you ask questions. So we are thinking. This is the one sign that we are thinking about it. And interestingly, it's not that Krishna doesn't say that you should not have doubts or you should not ask questions. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita chapter number 4, text number 34. Tad vidhi paripatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. He said, just try to learn the truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master, inquiring from him submissively, and render menial service to him. And he will show you the truth because he has seen it. So, inquiring submissively, asking questions, having doubts is part of the process. Nothing wrong in it. One must have doubts, one must ask questions and clear his confusions. Second, when we have doubts, it helps us choose wisely. Right? If we don't have doubts, then we will accept whatever is being told. We may not think whether this is actually even correct or not. Sanatan Goswami from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they were brilliant personalities. They were working as ministers for Nawab Hussain Shah. They knew so many languages. People loved them. People would go to them for their problems and they would be able to solve their problems very easily. So they were considered like the go-to people. They were so expert in everything. When Sanatan Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what did he say? He said, my dear Lord, these people, they think that I'm expert, I'm this, I'm that. But the fact is, I don't even know who I am. Why am I suffering? What is the purpose of my life? Great personality like Sanatan Goswami, who is like a counselor for so many people, is having a doubt of who am I? What is the purpose of my life? So he is going and placing his doubts in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this made him doubt his own position, although people are glorifying him. If everybody glorifies us that Prabhu, you are so great, you are expert, you know everything, there is a very high chance one could become very puffed up and think, oh, I am perfect. I don't need any counseling. I have no doubts. Everything is clear for me. But Sanatan Goswami, because he has doubts, he is able to choose wisely. Is it really my position? Is this what really am I? So doubts helps one choose wisely. Okay, Sanatan Goswami's example. Then doubt can make faith stronger. When we have doubts, it's not that doubts and faith are opposed to each other. Person can have faith and person can also have doubt at the same time. It is possible. For example, Arjun has full faith that Krishna, he is not an ordinary person. In fact, Arjun knows that Krishna is the Supreme Lord himself. But when Krishna asked him to fight and kill your kinsmen, Arjun is doubtful. How can I kill? These are my kinsmen. Swajanas, these are my Swajanas. So he has faith, at the same time he has doubts. And what happens? Arjun is placing his doubts in front of Krishna. Krishna is speaking the Bhagavad Gita and his doubts are becoming clear and his faith is now confirmed, completely strong. So when we have doubts, it makes our faith stronger, provided we don't go in the wrong direction. And we will see constructive and destructive doubts. If we have doubts and we seek guidance, clarify our doubts by asking questions from proper authorities, Guru, Shastra, Sadhu, then it only increases and makes our faith stronger. Srila Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita chapter number 10, text number 4 to 5 purport, he said, nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and with caution. So one of the very important lessons that I learned after coming in Krishna consciousness was that I had doubts, a lot of doubts I had in the beginning. I still do, and I ask questions to my seniors. But one of the doubts I had was, uh, is it okay to accept or to reject things blindly? And the devotee whom I asked, he gave me a very wonderful answer, wonderful guidance. He said, we should never accept anything blindly. At the same time, we should never reject anything blindly. Generally, people have this tendency, something comes to them, they'll say, oh, I really like it, I accept it. Oh, I cannot accept, immediately reject. But both are wrong. We should accept intelligently. Just as Prabhupada is saying, everything should be accepted with care and with caution. So I had doubts about the practice and the process of Krishna consciousness. He said, if you accept it blindly, you will remain a theoretical person. And if you reject it, then you will not even know what Krishna consciousness was, what benefit you could have got from this process. He said, I suggest you experiment with your own life. You take Krishna consciousness or the process of chanting and hearing in your life, and gradually over time you see whether it is really making any difference or not. If it doesn't make any difference, he even said this to me. He said, even if it doesn't make any difference to you and you feel, no, look, you are missing out on the material life, leave Krishna consciousness and go and do whatever others are doing. No problem. But he said, give it a chance. Experiment it with for some time. And I thought that was it really made sense, because as they say, the taste of the pudding is in eating. Without eating, you will not know whether the pudding is sweet or sour. So I said, okay, no problem. Let me experiment for some time. Let's see what happens. So we started hearing, chanting. And after a year, I was like convinced. I don't think I can get anything better than this. So the doubts were there, and the process was to go to a proper person and resolve it. If I had those doubts and I said, no, I'm doubtful, I will stop going to this devotee's house, then I would not have been in Krishna consciousness. So doubt can make faith stronger. Another point is, doubt keeps us humble. Generally, it is very easy to think that I know everything. Most people are like that. Even if you go outside, they think, I know everything, I don't need any counseling, I know everything, I have no doubts. When we are doubtful about certain things, it makes us realize that I am very insignificant and there is a lot more for me to know. We don't become puffed up. Like Sanatana Goswami, although he was considered like the expert, but he had doubts. So he was always humble, very, very humble. In fact, Sanatana Goswami is considered the emblem of humility, always humble. And it makes us humble. Also, it makes us realize that spiritual life is not an overnight affair, that one night and you are going to be enlightened and you are going to go back home, back to Garet. It is going to take time. It may take many years. Sometimes it may take many lifetimes also, depending on the sincerity of the person. So it's going to take many years. And Krishna also confirms this in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlava. After many, many, many births, somebody will come to a conclusion that Vasudev, Lord Krishna, is the cause of all causes. And such a Mahatma is Extremely rare, extremely rare. So it is going to take time. So when we have doubts, we don't feel puffed up that now I know a lot, because at some stage of our Krishna conscious practices, when we start reading Prabhupada's books, we may think, oh, now I know a lot. I can quote verses from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. I know Chaitanya Charitamrita. I've read Brihad Bhagavatamrita. I know a lot. But if you have doubts, it keeps us humble. Right? No, I have a long way to go, and I need to clarify my doubts. I can't be, thinking that this is okay. The fifth point is doubt inspires us to explore. When we have doubts, we will feel inspired to go and find out what is the answer to this. We will not be satisfied. Like, I generally encourage questions. I love when people ask questions, because then I feel that people are thinking, they are really listening, they are applying the process in their life. That's why questions are coming. See, if you're applying nicely, you will definitely have doubts. If you're reading nicely, you will definitely have doubts. If you're hearing nicely, you will definitely have doubts, because you will need more understanding. So when doubts are there, when questions are there, it's a sign that the people are applying the process. So sometimes devotees ask difficult questions which I also don't know the answer. So I have told myself right when I started doing bhakti research, that whenever anybody asks me a question, if I don't know the answer, it means that question is just not theirs, it is my question also. It's my doubt also. So I need to go and find out the answer to that. So whenever devotees have asked me difficult questions, it has really forced me to explore my own understanding. Sometimes I've felt that, oh, I've become very comfortable. I know this subject matter very clearly. But when a difficult question comes, immediately I start thinking, oh, maybe my understanding is not yet fully clear. So those doubts, I then go to my seniors and clarify them. And when, honestly speaking, when those doubts have been clarified for me, my own faith has become stronger. So it's a very good process, very, very nice process. Talking to people, when they ask you questions, you think about the answer. We just don't blur out the answer. We think whether it is really as per Shastra or not. And if it's not per Shastra, then we find out what the acharyas have said on this particular subject matter. So it helps us explore. And the last one is doubts helps us shield against complacency. So a nice example in this regard is of Gopakumar from Brihad Bhagavatamrita. You know the story of Gopakumar? Gopakumar gets a mantra from his guru. He chants this mantra and then he goes to different levels, heavenly planets, Vaikuntha, Mathura, Dwarka. Even in spiritual world, he goes to different levels. And wherever he goes, he is not satisfied. He goes and sees Krishna, he sees Narayan, he sees Lord in Vaikuntha, Lord in Mathura, Dwarka. Everywhere he is going, he is not satisfied. He said, this is not what I am looking for. Although he is chanting his mantra, he did not become complacent that now this is sufficient. This is enough. I have seen the Lord, now I am happy. No, he was not satisfied until he reaches Goloka Vrindavan and he sees Krishna in that cowherd form. Then he is completely satisfied. This is what I was looking for. So doubts helps us from becoming complacent. So now the question is, how can we know if our doubt is healthy, constructive, or harmful, destructive? How do we know? Well, the first point is, when we have doubts, what is our mood? Is our mood to deepen our understanding, or is our mood to escape practice? I don't want to do this, so I'm having these doubts, using doubts as an excuse to not do our practices. So let's discuss healthy doubts. When you ask questions to deepen your understanding, okay, when we are willing to hear from Guru, Shastra, Sadhu, when we are willing to hear, and that means we are also willing to apply what we hear, we are feeling inspired to explore, and practice more seriously or sincerely. That's why those doubts are coming. And when we are addressing our doubts, the mood is respectful and submissive. Not that, oh, I'm going to get this answer. If I don't like it, I'm just going to. No, it's a respectful mood and we want to understand. Right? So this is the mood. So when we have a doubt, we can check, is the doubt for me to get more understanding? One is to so that I can become more stronger in my Krishna consciousness. Am I ready to hear from Guru Shastra Sadhu? That means I have a doubt, I ask a question, I'm ready to accept the answer if it's as per Guru Shastra Sadhu. And I'm always submissive, respectful. I'm not asking challengingly, hey, what do you think? Not to test the other person's knowledge. You're genuinely asking the question, genuinely revealing your doubt to get more wisdom. That is the mood. So when this is happening, we know it is a healthy, constructive doubt. Let us see what is a destructive doubt, harmful. The signs of destructive or harmful doubts is, we reject the teachings without even trying. I have a doubt, I'm not going to follow. Arjun had a doubt, he would say, I am not Krishna, whatever you say, I am going home, I will not fight. This is a harmful doubt. Arjun had a doubt, but he also had faith in Krishna and he understood that this is a doubt and I need to clarify. Am I right or am I wrong in this? So he clarified. If Arjun had gone home, I don't want to fight, I cannot kill my grandfather and my guru, I just cannot do it, I'm going home. I don't want to hear what Krishna is going to say. I'm not even going to ask. This is a destructive doubt. We are escaping. Second is, we have a doubt, but we feel cynical or we are closed off. We don't want to get the answer. We have a doubt, but at the same time, we feel I don't want to know. Because if I know, I'll be in trouble. I'll have to apply. I'll have to, give up my comfort zone. This is also a destructive doubt. It is going to prevent us from progressing in our Krishna consciousness. We should not do that. Honesty is very much required when expressing our doubts. Because if we are not honest with ourselves, how can we make progress? If we are not honest with ourselves, we cannot be humble. So honesty is a very important aspect in making advancement in Krishna consciousness. Then we use doubts as excuse to avoid practice. I don't think this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is really working. I've tried for 1 month and I think I'm convinced there is nothing much in this, so I'm going to give it up. This is an excuse to not go further. Then when we express a doubt and an answer is coming, we become argumentative. No, this is not how it is. I think this is how it should be. This is how, putting our own mind into it and arguing about it. Example, Arjuna has asked Krishna that we will not. Krishna has spoken his whole Bhagavad Gita. If Arjun says, no, I doubt what you are saying, and he presents his own argument, going back and forth. That's what was happening in the beginning. The relationship was of friendship. So Arjun was saying something, Krishna was saying something, Arjun was saying, they were not going to any conclusion. So Arjun said, enough, I accept you as my spiritual master, please guide me. Because the relationship of guru and disciple is that when guru says something, no more argumentation. There is no more arguments. Guru says something, disciple follows, finish. This is a destructive doubt. Yes, a matter can be clarified in the mood of submissiveness, in respectful manner. That is not a problem. But arguing whether to follow or not, whether to follow what you are saying is correct or not, that becomes a destructive doubt. That we should not do. So this is how we can tell whether our doubt is constructive, healthy, or destructive. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself warns that in Bhagavad Gita chapter number 4 text number 40, Krishna says, but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness, they fall down. For the doubting soul there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. So this doubting soul that is being spoken here is about this person who has destructive doubts, faithless, ignorant, doesn't want to try anything. That Krishna is not recommending. Krishna is not against healthy doubts. Krishna is against this destructive doubts where a person doesn't want to try. So just to recap on this, how can we tell the difference? We can ask ourselves, am I doubting because I want to grow? Am I open to hearing answers and exploring further? Or have I already made up my mind? If our doubts leads to humility, inquiry and deeper practice, it is healthy. If it leads to neglect, arrogance or confusion, it may be harmful. Yeah, I'll repeat that. If our doubt leads to humility, inquiry and deeper practice, then it is healthy doubt. But if it leads to neglect, arrogance or confusion, it may be harmful. Can doubt ever lead someone away from spiritual life?
Depends on what.
Healthy or unhealthy.
Yes, depends whether the doubt they have is constructive, healthy or harmful. So there are certain things that one should be careful of. If the doubt is leading someone away from spiritual life, it has happened many times. Even in the presence of Srila Prabhupada, some of his disciples left him. Some of his even sannyas disciples left. Like today only I was reading. So anyway, it is possible that that someone can doubts can make them go away from spiritual life. When this happens, when a person has doubts and it has not been addressed properly, when somebody has doubts and they have expressed that doubts but it has not been addressed properly, then yes, there is a chances that a person may leave, or they are under the influence of negative association. Sometimes when they are in bad association, if they have a weaker faith, a faith which is not very strong and mature, it is very likely that by the influence of negative association, their faith, whatever little they have, will be destroyed and they will leave. It is possible. That's why in spiritual life, being careful about the association is very important. We should always associate with good people or good association. Good association means associating with devotees, those who strengthen our faith. If you don't have faith, then associate with those who are faithful. By associating with those who are faithful, our faith increases. If we associate with faithless, then whatever faith is also gone. So we should be very careful. So doubt can, yes, lead somebody away from spiritual life.
Here it looks like bit trying to understand the contradiction way. Let's say if a person is full of faith, he should not get associated with weaker faith people or no faith people. Am I right or am I making correct? Like
So
weaker faith people, let's say there are some people who has weaker faith, and if they associate with faithless, their faith will be gone.
yeah.
So we have to be very careful. The faithful persons associate, who are the faithful persons are getting associated, they have to be also careful, right?
Yes.
How we can make the new devotees, because Srila Prabhupada also faithful person, and with Prabhupada's mercy many people get like that. It's like statement is contradicting to the apply application or something. Statement is this, but while application, it is in a reverse mode.
So your question is, if I've understood correctly, if the faithful persons associate with
Full hippies, drunkards, everything.
non-faithful persons, their faith will be destroyed.
Yes,
Yeah, correct. No, no, that's not what I meant. I meant if our faith is not very strong and mature, then associating with somebody who's faithless, whatever little faith we have will be gone. When Srila Prabhupada went to America, he did not go to take hippies association. He went to give his association to the hippies. You see, there's a lot of difference. Prabhupada is very clear. He is super faithful. There is no chance, because he is Uttama Adhikari, there is no chance that his faith can be shaken. What he did is not to take their association. He went there to give his association to them. By giving his faithful association, he turned faithless into faithful. So we have to see where we are, how strong our faith is. If our faith is not very strong, then going into negative association is dangerous. We should stay away. But Bharat Maharaj, in Bhava stage, right, just at the threshold of prema, very exalted stage, he goes to the forest alone and becomes attached to a deer. Cost him 3 lives. So association, good association, I mean, is paramount. We can never neglect this. We should always be, and we should never think that now my faith is like Srila Prabhupada.
That is also not.
No, if Srila Prabhupada himself said this, that a pure devotee never falls down. He told his disciples, pure devotee never falls down. Srila Prabhupada went and took darshan, and Srila Prabhupada in front of deities was praying, my dear Lord, please protect me, let me not fall down. So one of his disciples next to him heard this prayer of Srila Prabhupada. So when Prabhupada went back to his room, this disciple went and expressed his doubt. Prabhupada, you just said a pure devotee never falls down, but I saw you praying that please protect me. You are a pure devotee. Why were you praying like that? Prabhupada said, a pure devotee never falls down because he always prays, let me not fall down. My dear Lord, protect me, let me not fall down. So even in Uttama Adhikari, he never becomes puffed up that now I am so faithful that I can change the whole world. Always praying in humble mood. I am so insignificant.
So we can classify as 3 levels: Uttama Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Adama Adhikari.
Kanishta Adhikari.
Kanishta Adhikari. So Uttama Adhikari can give association to the people who are hippies or drunkards.
Even Madhyama Adhikari can do that.
Madhyama. So who is in the
Kanishta Adhikari
has to get associated with.
No, everybody, even Madhyama Adhikari also needs association of Uttama Adhikari or Madhyama Adhikaris. Association everybody needs. I'm talking about who can go. Even a Kanishta Adhikari, even though he has a very delicate faith, his faith is not very strong, but if he is very careful not to take association but to give association, whatever little, he will be successful.
In the tribe path.
Yeah, he is not going to, I'm not going there to take any association. I'm simply going there to give whatever I know to these people. Then he will be safe. Madhyama Adhikari is also like that. He goes there to give his association, not to take association. And if a person knows, if a devotee knows that I am not strong enough, then he will not go. He will not go. It's our choice, right? We choose our association where we want to go. Nobody is forcing us. So if we choose to be in good association, strong association, then we'll become stronger. If we choose to be with non-devotees, then we'll become non-devotees. Even if we are devotee, we'll become non-devotees. Ajamil was a very good Brahmana. He was doing all his practices very nicely. But in the association of prostitute, he became a rogue number 1. A very elevated personality becomes a rogue like that. Association is very powerful. साधु संग सर्व शास्त्र का है, लव मात्र साधु संग सर्व सिद्धि हो. Should never compromise good association. Never. In fact, scripture says it is better to go and live in a cave with a tiger than to go and live in a room with a non-devotee. You know why? Tiger will kill you and you will lose one life. A non-devotee will kill you and make you non-devotee, and you will lose many lifetimes before you come back to the path of devotional service. Understand the point? So going and living with a tiger is better than to going and living with a non-devotee. Does that answer your question? Okay. Okay, I guess we'll stop here then. Yeah?
Our class will be continued. But very nice class, Prabhu. Really kind of the way of we understand things and posting questions, because some people are shy, especially me. Even in class, in my child also, I won't ask questions.
Yeah.
When I came here, I can see that freeness. I can ask questions and
Yeah.
I can clarify.
Yeah, if the mood is correct, there is no problem in asking questions. As I said, harmful and harmless or healthy doubts. Okay, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jaya, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.